Okay, so for this one, we're asked to graph, so we're going to get this in standard form so we can see where the center is and what our A and B is. So unfortunately, we had to complete the square twice. There is no GCF, so I'm going to kind of put these x terms together, the y terms together. I'll bring that 89 over, and I'll do a little factoring here while I get this set up. So we're going to pull a 16 out of these x terms. And again, you know what it's going to be because it's whatever's on the x squared and the y squared. That's what has to be able to factor out, because to complete the square, we need this to be like 1x squared. So 16 out of there would leave me a 4x, and for now I'll just close that off. And then here, this tricky spot right there, I'm taking out a negative 9, so that's y squared. And then when I take negative 9 out of that 18, that means I need negative 2y there, so that when I multiply back, negative and negative makes positive. Right in there, or its next step, is where kind of all the errors happen on this problem. And I'm bringing the 89 over. Okay, so we got that part. And then we'll complete the square. So 16 out front. Just write this part down. Half of 4 makes 2. 2 squared makes 4. So I'm going to go plus 4 right there. Right here, I got this minus 9 out front. Write the rest of the stuff down. Half of 2 makes 1, and 1 squared makes 1. So plus 1 right there. And then we have our 89. And then right here, this is actually, it looks like we're adding 4, but remember it's really 16 times that 4. So I'm just going to write over here 16 times 4 is plus 64 on this side. And then right here, it looks like we're adding 1, but we're really subtracting 9 if we distribute out what that actually represents. So now I have to go minus 9 over there. So let me get this factored. This is going to be 16 x minus 2 squared, and then minus 9. And that's going to be y minus 1 squared. And this ends up coming out to 144. And I bet right here is where you have a 96. And then when you brought that over, that's where it wasn't reducing well for you. But now, with that as a 144, yeah, because that would make the 9s would cancel, 80 plus 64, 144. If I divide that out, it's going to work out on this side now. And I think that's probably where you're stuck. So 16 goes into 144 9 times. So this is going to be x squared, or x minus 2 quantity squared, over 9, minus y minus 1 quantity squared. 9 goes in 16 times, and then that equals 1. And now we're in our form. So I bet that's where the trouble was. From here, your center is 2, 1. And then in this case, it's leading in x, so that means it's going to be transverse x, and a is 3 and b is 4. And again, for ellipses, for hyperbola, a does not have to be the small number for these ones, but it does when we're talking about ellipses in the last section. And then I grabbed a graph of this just so I could show it. So there's our center at 2, 1, and then to the vertex, because remember A is center to the vertex, and this thing's going to run parallel to x. So there's our 1, 2, 3 boxes right there. So we put our spot there, or actually, I guess we graph the asymptote. And then B is 4, so that's the direction from the center to the other side of the box. So this means center to vertex is 3, and then center up is 4. So that's where they're getting that second point, over 3 and up 4. Hopefully that helps.